Hey everyone, welcome to Read Through the Word. Today is February the 2nd. Today is one of those days where I, as the facilitator, really struggled with the lesson. Where do I go from here? What do you want us to know about today's reading, Lord? What do you want us to focus on? And it was one of those days where I had to go and read and put my Bible down and go do some other things and come back and stare at Scripture. I don't know if y'all ever do that. Just stare at Scripture, like jump out at me, show me something. And that's where I was today. And I'll tell you honestly too, I've been really conflicted over the years, as I'm sure maybe you have been over the years reading, or if this is your first time reading, maybe this caught you off guard as well. The whole idea of God hardening the heart of Pharaoh. And why is it fair? How is it fair for God to harden Pharaoh's heart and then punish him for the things that he's doing with his hard heart when he hardened his heart? Right? Just hard for us to understand. It's difficult for us to understand things like that. And I'm looking at my notes, and I did not put a link to this, but write this down. God.Questions.org. I've shared with you before that website. It is how it's been very helpful to me. I know that Lisa has also shared. Other team members have also shared that website, and type in simply Pharaoh, the hardening of Pharaoh's heart, and you can get a great article. Also, the Gospel Coalition. Actually, if you just pull up your browser and your search engine, whatever it might be, mine's DuckDuckGo, I'll type in the hardening of Pharaoh's heart. The Gospel Coalition has another great article. I encourage you to just do some reading on it. But I really feel like I've got a new handle and a new way to look at this, a refreshed way to look at this. And I believe after studying and reading that this is something that we can definitely sink our teeth into. There are times in Scripture, in this reading and beyond today's reading, where it says, Scripture says that God hardened Pharaoh's heart, and then it says that Pharaoh hardened his heart. What I want us to look at is the idea that Pharaoh was already prideful. He was already selfish. He was already self-centered. Pharaoh already believed himself to be all-powerful. He was supreme. He was to be worshipped. He was to be obeyed. He was the ruler of all. He had magicians, and he had special people that could do special things with special powers. He believed there wasn't another God. He felt like he was God in a sense. So I want us to just zero in on this. He had these issues long before this situation came up between he and Moses and the rescuing of an entire nation, 1 million plus people. This is not something that God created. Moses' heart was already like this before this situation started coming up with the plagues. And had he freed the people right when it happened, right when Moses went to him, the plagues would have never happened. The impact of his hardened heart would not have been felt throughout all of Egypt. Because of the hardened heart and him allowing it to be more and more hardened and more stubborn, more and more people felt the impact of his hard heart. So what I want us to look at today is, in the light of this scripture, is our own heart. Had Pharaoh just submitted and released God's people, all of Egypt would not have experienced these plagues, and ultimately the worst plague, which is to come. They would not have experienced that, but because his heart was the way that it was, all these people experienced all of these things. So what if we flipped it and Pharaoh submitted? Pharaoh admitted that there was another God. He let God's people go. The difference that would have made in all of Egypt. Not only to God's people, they would have seen the power of God, but the Egyptians would have seen the power of God as well. So this is what I want us to dig into for the next few minutes, is that God will sovereignly allow circumstances to come in our life to accomplish his purposes. Sometimes we're cooperative with those circumstances, and we're submissive, and we listen to, and we're so close to the heart of God. We know what he's doing, or even if we don't know what he's doing, we trust what he's doing. And we're okay with the circumstances. We don't like them, but we trust God through them. The circumstances that are sovereignly allowed around us by the hand of God will reveal our natural bend and the character of our heart. It will. So when the circumstances surrounded Pharaoh, it appears, God did harden his heart. No, God used these circumstances to show already the bend of his nature and the character of his heart. And the very same thing will happen to us, because we have circumstances sometimes out of our control, but obviously always under his control. He sovereignly allows things to happen around us. They are going to reveal the bend of our nature and the truth of our character. James says this, and I use the Message, James 1, 2, and 3. I use the Message translation. I just absolutely love this particular translation in the Message. Consider it a sheer gift, friends, when tests and challenges come at you from all sides. You know that under pressure, your faith life is forced into the open and shows its true colors. This very thing happened to Pharaoh. It showed his true colors. So my question to you and my question to myself is, what colors are being shown when my faith life is forced out into the open through circumstances, tests, and challenges? What is seen? What do others see in me when my faith life is put out in the open? There's a whole text there in Romans 1, 18 through 24. I don't typically put long passages of scripture there, and I'm not going to read all of that, but it is so good. I didn't want to take the chance that maybe you wouldn't have time to click on the link and follow it. I wanted to put this here in the text that talks about the fact that this very thing will happen, that God will eventually turn us over and show what comes out. Circumstances reveal my heart and my bend. If I have not surrendered my anger to God, the anger that's in me when something comes up is going to come out. If I have not surrendered my selfishness and my self-centeredness, when something comes up and something bumps into me and messes with me, all of that's going to come out. That is what's going to come out. My faith life will show, she doesn't have that under control. She's not submitted that to the control of the Lord. I hope I'm making sense in this. I love the revelation that I got in Scripture today. So lastly, this is what we should live. Live so aware of God and active in my faith journey, so that when unfavorable circumstances arise, what is revealed in me is Christ and Him glorified. Live honestly with God and submitted to God, so that when unfavorable circumstances arise, what is revealed in me is Christ and Him glorified. Live obedient to God and His Word, so that when unfavorable circumstances arise, what is revealed in me is Christ and Him glorified. And live humbly before God, so that when unfavorable circumstances arise, what is revealed in me is Christ and Him glorified. These are great so that statements for us to live by, so that when we're in these tough situations that are sovereignly allowed to touch our lives, to bump into us, what spills out is Christ and Christ glorified. The characteristics of Christ: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, self-control, and faithfulness. When those circumstances come in our lives, the unfortunate circumstances that happen, what do people see? Do they see our pride? Do they see our pain? Do they see our distrust? Do they see our unforgiveness? Do they see our control? Do they see our disgust? Do they see our anger? Do they see our bitterness? Or do they see our God? And Pharaoh revealed himself very clearly. What's revealed in your life when something bumps into you? We'll see you next time on Read Through the Word.